Hello, my name's Ben, and this is going to be an endgame study on the queen checkmating the black king. Alright, we are the white pieces, and in this position, the white just promoted a pawn to a queen. So, how should black respond? Well, black is dead here. Let's say it's white to move. What should white do? The white queen has several abilities. Her main ability is her movement radially. She can go horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. As you can see, she makes a triangle, but the king can move diagonally. So there's one square the king can always run to if the queen tries to confine the king inside a triangle. So the queen instead uses the lateral and the vertical movement to box the king out. So on her first move, she should come to h6. Now the black king is confined. The black king cannot move beyond the 6th rank and cannot move into the h file. So ideally, black's best move here, if he wishes to try to burn time in a bullet game, play f5. Now here white can play g6, making the box smaller. Now the black king can either move to f5 or can move to e5 or f4. So let's say the black king goes f4. Well, now the white queen cannot come to g5 to box out the king anymore, because then the black king can just take it. So the white king goes to f6. Black's best move here is to go e4. Oh, black's best move here is to go f3. Now white can play queen to g5, boxing out the king some more. Black can play king to e4, white can play f5, and so on. And this pattern goes, he has two choices, d4 and e3. Notice how the black king is getting pushed back. Now white will centralize his king, and now black can only move back to the 2nd rank. And now white can centralize his king again. Notice how the white queen is boxing the black king out. It only has, it doesn't have many places to go. So now the white can bring his king forward. Black can go to only 3 squares. Its best option is to get away from the back rank, because that's where it's going to be mated. And now white can centralize his queen and box out the king even more. And now the king only has several squares it can go. The black king's best choice is to go to c2. And now the white queen can come to d3. Checking the king and boxing him out even more. Now the black king only has 1 square to go on the 2nd rank. b2, that's his best move. And now the white king can move over d4. And now black king can go to a2. But see, this is on the edge of the board. He's going to get mated. a1, he's going to get mated. And c1 is going to get mated. So white's best move here is black's best move. Well, all of these are going to be pretty much mate. So let's try c1. Black can move his king over. Well, actually no, white's best move here is to go to e2, restricting the black king to the back rank. And so the black king only has 1 square to go right now. That's b2. The white brings his king over. Black can come here to either c1, which is going to be checkmate in 1, or a1, that's going to be checkmate in 1. So let's say he goes to c1. Well, there's 2 ways for white to checkmate the black king here. Either e2, like how a rook would do it, or the white queen can go to c2. This is another way the white queen can checkmate the opponent king just being directly on top of it. Or let's say if the black king went to a1. Well, now white queen can go to e2. It's another way of checkmating black king. Okay, now we have a position, instead of a white king, we have a pawn supporting the queen. We have a one move checkmate right here. This is the same principle applies to when the black king is supporting the white queen, such as if he was here, 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 or here. Those all moves would be checkmate on the black king. Another common pattern you can see is the white queen, instead of the black king being in the corner, the black king would be on the edge of the board, and a king next to the enemy king is always checkmate. There are several positions to be watching out for when you're playing white and when you're playing black. When you're playing black, there's still a chance to draw the game. If in this position, if it's black to move, then this would be stalemate. That means black gets a draw. Black has no squares that it can go to. And another position would be when the queen is on the second rank and in a knight position away from the king. That means the king is exactly one square off the diagonal from the white queen, and now the black king is trapped. Of course, if this white king was anywhere else, say if it was here and still black to move, then it's still a stalemate. So you always have to be watching out for stalemates. When you are checkmating the enemy king, ideally you want to place the queen at least 2 squares away from the diagonal. So anywhere from D to H file is fine. But if the enemy king is 1 square away from the diagonal here or here, and it's boxed into the edge of the board or corner, then the possibility of the stalemate is still there. And that's going to be all for this video. Thank you. Goodbye.